find us on your TV. Because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, sorry about that. If you can hear me, let me put on the headphoniums. Test radio. All right, is this working? Over?
Check. Roger.
All right, sorry about that. We're up on the roof. We had some OTR antenna issues, but I think out of all the rain here that things, anyway, I didn't have time to go through wardrobe tonight, but hopefully you can hear me. Everybody hear me? Over?
Loud and clear.
Sounds good, Dennis.
All right, this is the loud and clear frequency. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark, such as they are. My name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers for the evening here, or for the net this evening, as a matter of fact. And thanks for joining us, where you will hear the best that 11-meter citizen band radio has to offer. If I get my cables set up here. And our shortwave listeners and old tube radio operators alike will be joining us. So you might be joining us at oldtuberadio.net, on the Universal Media Net Web, or maybe on the YouTube video, or maybe you are listening live and direct on your citizen band radio, such that it is on Channel 11, 27085. With that said, I will commence to begin here, and we will continue on. But first, what I will do is ask for any early check-ins. Over.
77.
All right, 77. Okay, there's the foot switch. 77, Mr. 1017 on the 13th day of January 2024. We've got you checked in and you are sounding good.
Thank you, sir. I'm on the phone. Hopefully I'll finish that up and get back in here. 73 to everybody.
All right, thanks for that. We have a couple online. We've got SWL64. Craig wanted to get checked in. I will do that as well. Any other early check-ins here? Over.
109 Crawdad with an early check-in.
Up the hill, 109. Hello, Crawdad. I will put the X in the square for you. Thanks for joining us tonight. Over.
Thank you, Dennis, and have a great evening.
All right, this is a little drier and warmer in here, so that's a good thing. Let me get Neil checked in, SWL 147 in Kakalaki. Dr. Jazz in North Carolina saying that it's cold but no snow. Well, just you wait. Decent conditions, but one way it seems, not getting back to anyone. I don't know. That's what happens when there's 400 people all trying to make the connection. We are having some great sunspot numbers. I'll have to check with Kevin. I would think we'd be having better conditions than we are, so maybe there's something up with that. Who is the station? Over. 25? Oh, 195. Sorry about that. It must be the water dripping off of my jacket here. 195. Hi, Jim. I'm going to get you guys checked in. I'm not sure if you have snow there or not, but to stay warm. Over. All right, 195 is checked in. Yeah, well, can you straighten your tie? Well, I don't even have it on. I was good enough to, lucky enough to get this much in before the program started. Let's get to the roll call. If you need to check in and be on your way, we will help you out with that. Gary from Sacramento is our 00 on this list. I don't know if you guys are getting the rain that we are having here. I guess I don't have much to complain about the weather. I mean, it's 40-something degrees. It is not freezing. It is not sub-zero temperatures. It is not snowing. But it is what it is. Hi, Gary. He's saying he's waiting for OTR, watching the Three Stooges. I guess that's somebody else besides this, right? Watching the Three Stooges with a cup of tea, candy, and soda-free everything. Well, it is now time for you to have radio free. Maybe it's transistor free night when we go to the tube radios. So, Gary, I've got you checked in, and we will get you at the appropriate time when you show up yet again. SWL number 1, the cosmic check-in for Dr. J, one of the guys that started this thing called Old Tube Radio, along with this other gentleman, Mr. OBP, who is out listening tonight and letting us know that sunspot numbers are up. I saw it was like 180 and 180 or something between the SFI and the sunspot numbers. We should have some decent conditions going on. Maybe we will hear something tonight. You just stay tuned and we'll see what happens. Anyway, Kevin, thanks for joining us and keeping the chat crew up and running. Say hello to Mr. OBP if you're on the video. I will get a proxy check-in for Mr. Rob Golden Eagle. Or rather, that's the Lone Eagle. He might be running a Golden Eagle. I'm not sure. I didn't have a chance to get over to ORN tonight, but I think I saw the preview that he was running one of my favorite radios. It's the Olson, I think they call it a sidebander. It's not really a sideband radio, but it runs the suppressed carrier sideband. I believe it's sort of a Regency clone, so we'll check in with him later, but I want to get a check-in for Levon, Mr. Rainmaker, who is here, probably coming back from old radio night, and he's saying, keep the potatoes warm. Oh, he's talking to Dwayne. All right, well, I hope they probably have plenty of potatoes up there. I got you checked in. Let's go to SWL 7.
Yeah, SWL 7, checking in.
All right, checking in and sounding good with little psychoacoustic items coming in tonight.
Oh, there you go.
All right, unless that's something I'm doing, I don't know. All right, get my stuff ready here. Thank you, Ed. Looking good. SWL 10. Chrissy and I'm looking through. I didn't get a chance to see who was all out there. Oh, hello to 4799 Mark up there in Lake Almanor, where he needs a little bit more than a rain jacket, I am sure. Purveyor of, I don't wreck everything here, the Voodoo, where is it? The purveyor of the Voodoo Labs for all of the West Coast. You might have seen or heard about those Voodoo radios. Tune in to 40 meters sometimes, and you will hear what we're talking about. Be sure to be listening in with the 3D audio classes. Glad to have Mark all along with us tonight. And Dwayne is there, Chrissy is there. All right, we got Chrissy checked in, SWL 10. Also, SWL 11 and SWL 12, that's Dan and Dapper Dan. And, you know, Dapper Dan is not going to have to try too hard tonight to get the Dapper award, unless, of course, you have maybe some type of gold sequence or something on your rain jacket tonight. But this is kind of nice. It's a little bit more less constricting than the seersucker jacket, so we'll see how that works. But thank you Cornbread and Dapper Dan for checking in tonight. SWL 13, Mr. Cobra. I saw the APRS beaconing tonight, and I'll keep an eye out for Michael to see when he checks in here tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Break OTR.
The break OTR, go ahead, over.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis. I'd like to check in early, brother. It's kind of cold here in the radio room, so you got 553, Bel Air the Legend. 73 is there, big brother. Everybody have a good weekend.
All right, yeah, it's cold and rainy all over around here, so thanks for jumping in, and we will get you checked in. Over.
Thank you very much. Take care, brother. Bye-bye.
All right, that is Mr. Bel Air, the legend in many of these radio parts. And directing that roll call is where we're at. We will have the glow-in-the-dark tube radios from 1958 to about 1978 when they stopped making them. Be here tonight after the roll call, we hope. Let's see what's happening in Sangertown. And Sean, are you hearing me through the rain tonight?
Yeah, you're sounding really good. SWL 14 checking on in.
All right, checking in and sounding good, and a little portent of what is to come for our glow-in-the-dark radios tonight. Sounding good, and I've got a spot or two reserved for you on the list here tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Dennis. Looking forward to it.
Indeed. From way off, way far away in Copenhagen, Denmark, where... Does it give me... sometimes I can get what's going on there, but Hans is listening in tonight. I don't know what kind of weather you're having, but we're certainly having some interesting stuff here in the States. West Coast, not too bad. The guys in the Midwest and the East Coast are putting in the big chill with the minus below zero temperatures tonight. So anyway, thanks for joining us. Peter's saying it's cold and windy and Squamish. Just hunkering down and watching OTR. If you see the glowing 6L6 over at oldtuberadio.net, it's okay to kind of warm up on that tube. We made it big enough to put out a little bit of heat. Snow is melting, Hans. Okay. And hello, Ken. Let me see who else is out there. JB saying hello from the Big Island. And get a check-in for, let me get to Mr. 360. I just saw that in there, 44, getting a check-in tonight on OTR. Thanks, Ray, for that. Private Thor, 14 degrees in Squamish at the moment. Okay, well, you are above zero. Uh-oh, something, I just reconnected something. Let's see what's happening here. All right, says I got an excellent connection. The video just went away, but I think it is back now. Directed net roll call. Where was I? SWL 16. Of course, that is Charlie, who's right here helping me out. He's got my seersucker suit. I don't need that. By the time I get into that, and with this will work just fine, or I can take it off. But I know I don't have the pocket protector. I don't think there's pockets, but there. Oh, you have it. All right. Well, I don't have a pocket. He's got the pocket protector for me. Thank you, Charlie. I don't. Oh, I he's modified the pocket protector. Wait a minute. Let's see if this is actually going to work. They think of everything around here at the Old Tube Radio Network. How about, does that work? All right, I don't know. That's pretty good. I do have my pocket protector. I no longer feel naked. I'm also getting wound up in my cords here. Thanks, Charlie, for the pocket protector. Do I look uncomfortable or what? I don't know. SWL 17. I'll get this down yet. I have to practice. I come in the week and practice doing this just so I can do it right. SWL 18. I will get Mikey checked in from Facebook, Mr. KDA. SWL 19, Chet is on the cue cards tonight, as always, doing a great job. Thanks for that, Chet, and I will try to make sure I occasionally read what it is that you put up there, so I will not look too lost here. Let's go over to SWL 20.
Al, check me in, number 20, check in 29 and 54, and because it's too cold for him, number 135. And I will be back later. Thank you.
All right. We will be around here later as well, so we'll get you checked in. Gary, Double Zero, says he's headed to the green room. It sprung a leak. That may just be a check. That somebody may have left a little lemonade fountain running overtime. Who else is here? I just saw somebody. It works. Charlie's amazed that it works. Well, it works for now. Let's see if it'll stay on there for 2 hours or not. I just saw, did I see Radio Randy? I'll get 99 checked in since he's here. Randy, I just missed you last night on 75 and 75 meters. Had a good chat with Michael, and Jonathan came on, and all the gang there, but you were sounding good. Because, the band was up and down. Sometimes 75 does weird things at night, and the signals are good, but they don't sound good. It's that phase distortion stuff. But anyway, we'll let you know if the conditions open up on the skip land tonight, because Randy is one of the stations that actually has checked in from afar here on 11 meters live, so we will look forward to that if it can happen. So thanks, Randy. Let's see, 1921. Mr. JT, I had the playback up and running. I want to see if it may still be live. Let me bring up the audio here. Oh, it is. All right, and he's on that cool radio. So let me pop it up on the screen. And whenever you see this, go ahead and check in 21. We'll be waiting for you. Go ahead and check in East Coast to West Coast we're listening in.
East Coast to West Coast. SWL 21, South Carolina, checking in, and 2 more want to check in, and I'm standing by.
All right, we're listening. All right, another check-in from Carolina. That. All right, and the Knot Man.
10-8 standing by.
I love it over the radio. And again, the Olsen sidebander. That was one of the first, when I got my CB back in late 68, 70, one of the first groups I talked to, that was the radio the guy had, the Olsen sidebander, and that is what prompted me to get a Regency Imperial, because they are basically the same radio without the sideband, so a cool radio nonetheless. So thanks for joining us tonight. Sounding good from the East Coast to the West Coast, 21. Thanks for staying up late to join us. Over.
Simple.
All right, back here in the studio. Directed net roll call, and all is well. 21 is in. SWL 22. I'm looking for Tyler, see if he's listening in somewhere here tonight. Got a lot of stations listening in from Belfast, Maine, Plymouth, Minnesota, Bowling Green. There's Van Man at the top again, all the way out to Denmark, Fresno, Roseville. Hello, Roseville, California, Newcastle, Virginia, Paradise, California, Chantilly, Virginia, Madera, California, and a host of others, or you might be close or nearby those areas, but we appreciate you tuning into the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. SWL 23. It's 23 skedaddling somewhere. And the Echo link is up and running, it appears. So if you need to do that, that's a good thing. SWL 24.
24, check in.
All right, Joseph, thanks for waiting up for us here tonight. You are sounding good. We've got you checked in. Over. And Foxman 362, check DX maps. You know, I have it up on the list here. Let me go over to that. And, you know, oh, wow. Okay. That is why we're not seeing anything. It is basically nothing. There's a 6-meter contact somewhere over Ohio, it looks like. But everything else, barring all the advertisements going on there, is showing nothing. It was, as soon as the sun goes down, typically it seems like it's out and gone. But that doesn't mean we will not get some of the short skip. We will keep our fingers crossed for that. Glen Allen, Virginia. Hello, Wayne. Thanks for joining us. And United Delta X-Ray 357, the Cowboy, says the weather isn't too bad where he is. Probably similar to what we are having here in Fresno. Let's go to SWL 25.
Hello, Dennis. 25 checking in.
25, you are sounding good. Hopefully there is no wacky flooding out that way.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know. I think we're in for a little rain after a bit. But anyway, I thought I'd check in. Probably need proxies proxies for the next 5 Saturdays. So anyway, I'll be tied up playing music. So anyway, just wanted to say hi and check in and go ahead and check in 74 too, if you will.
I will do that. That's a good thing. You guys are always in demand, and so the fans are the winners on this one. We'll get you proxied in, and if I were to ever be around at the right time, you might see me in the audience throwing $2 bills up your way. Sounding good.
All righty, Dennis. Thank you very much, and keep up the good work. Thanks for running the net. Back to you.
Dennis, he's not a stripper.
I don't know. I don't know what the protocol is, but if he wants to do that as well, maybe he'll make even more money. Let's go to page 2, SWL 27.
27's checking in live from Studio G on the FM crossband.
All right, I hear you on the crossband. I always have to look around. I hear you. It's like, well, where is he? Up on the crossband, sounding good from Studio G. Hopefully there are no leaks. Over.
No leaks here in Studio G. Just got one burner of Mr. Heater running.
Mr. Heater is a good thing. Thanks for checking in on the Old Tuba Radio Network, KB6GFD.
Dennis, thanks. Cap.
All right, from the crossband, Dwayne checking in from around the corner and up the street. He can occasionally be heard on the Wednesday night Central Valley 10-meter net that happens on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at 445 upper sideband. So if you can tune into that, the guy that checked in as 00 and is ready to go for the Old Tube Radio Network tonight, Gary is getting a check-in number 2 out in the green room, and I hope it wasn't anything leaking. It probably just maybe it was me running through the green room and dripping water around there, but it should be good. I think we got everything shored up and looking good. We've got a check-in for Mr. Loner 29, and Dwayne is at the ready. SWL 30, just in case on the Browning, the Robin, whatever, that we will get some conditions here tonight. And also 007 Extreme CB is checking in with 00 and 7 over under, Roger and Dunn, Bob and Ray, Abbott and Costello, Manny, Mo and Jack, and all the crew. And where are those things? They're under the keyboard. But if you are anywhere around town at any time, you know that the place to be is at extremecb.com, 27.085 and beyond. Look for all the good video items and things of that nature out there. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully you are finding a place where it's either not raining or not below zero. To hide out, but you're looking good. And hello, 21. Gonna go watch the boob tube. You know, there are rumors that the two shows that garner the most ratings on Saturday night are something called the Old Radio Night and the Old Tube Radio Network. That's somewhere. So if you can get some reruns on those, you'll be doing good. Let's go to SWL 31, SWL 32. Shortwave listener 33, myself, Bozo Control, and those that dare try and check in here from the control point of the Old Tube Radio Network. SWL 34. I'll get Railroader and Captain Chaos checked in. Jimmy is out there somewhere, tending to one of the various many Facebook pages. So I've got the X in the square. Oh, and the toot on the train whistle. Here we go. That is one tiny little train going through there. Over to SWL 35, and Mr. Bill is listening in, checking in from a very cold Cheyenne, Wyoming. Did I hear that there was Billings? Minus 20, minus 15 somewhere. So I bet you are in the negative numbers out there in Cheyenne. So hopefully you have some old tubes running where you are. SWL 36. SWL 37.
SWL 37 here. Good evening, Dennis.
And good evening. You are sounding good, and thanks for joining us here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
You betcha. And we just back it when you're out there. That way we know we got somebody to holler at. Thank you.
All right. Always gotta have somebody out there to holler at, even if nobody hollers back.
Absolutely. Anyway, you have a good evening.
All right, I am attempting to indeed have a good evening. We will see how that works out. So far, so good. The didn't get rained on too much. We fixed the leak, and and the antennas are up, and we are good to go. Hey, and there's a blast from the past. Hello, Brian. Checking in. From where are you now? Where are you? Indiana? Is that where you're at? On the old shack, new shack, tube shack, blue shack, looking good with. I think I see the Drake equipment there. I don't know if you still have the TS2000. I've still got mine. It doesn't work very well, but it's still up in the rack, just getting older and older. So thanks for joining us. 73, as we say. Maybe I'll be able to catch you on one of the frequentlies. Sooner or later. Somebody said they'd like to see something on the meter. If I turn that knob, okay, there's something for you on the meter when I'm talking. Who else? Mud Bucket, hello to you. Tony. Tony, okay, Tony's in on the Echolink link. Coming up, it is up and running. UDX 183, hello radio. Directed net roll call, we're looking for SWL 38. And Sam did mention that there is no short skip, and there's no long skip. There's no skip of any type so far tonight. So, Sam, I will get you checked in. Over to SWL 39. No, I can't take off this jacket now because it's got the pocket protector on it. SWL 40.
SWL 40 here with my 2-meter radio on the operating table.
Oh no, is it missing one of its meters?
No, I'm trying to diagnose the volume and the squelch controls. They're very, 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 very scratchy.
Oh, and this is not the scratchy frequency, so continue on and hopefully you will achieve less scratchiness.
Yeah. So that's all we got for the fans here in Chinatown.
Okay, looking good, and they have fixed. Unlike around here, they fixed the flooding problem. You know, now that people with money are moving in, they start fixing things. You know how that works. All right, the battle of the foot switch continues. SWL 41. I did see Road Dog 507 moments ago checking in from Tri-County with the Tri-County React, Hudson Valley, New York, saying good evening to everyone and stay warm indeed. It's that thing that we all try to do during the winter months here. Now, if you're checking in from down under, you're wondering how to stay cool, I suppose. SWL 42, I've got a proxy check-in. Also for SWL 43, Crazy Eddie. SWL 44 checked in just moments ago on the digital side. SWL 45 also getting a check-in. Hello, Paul and Kelly. You guys might have had a dusting of snow up there. Hopefully things will work out. We get you back on the air because we miss hearing from you up there. And I want to take a moment now. SWL 46 has been on our list from a long time. He's checked in radios. We haven't heard him for a while, but SWL 46, Steve, Alabama boy, did pass away at the beginning of this month. Talked to his wife, and they're all doing okay, so we are sorry to hear that and miss Steve's voice. When he came on, it was very definitive, and he would make sure that if he had a radio ready, he would get checked in for that. So sorry to hear that Steve, Alabama boy, has become a silent key, and we will definitely miss him here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Tim Creet's Adventures. What's the Echolink node? You know, that is a good question. I used to have it, and then we switched things. If I can find it, if I can find the actual node number, I will put that out. It is up there somewhere. So they'll remind me to remind you. Maybe we'll get a quick check-in from Fiveland. Tim, thanks for asking that. Let's go over to SWL 47.
Good evening from the Radio Lounge. This is SWL 47, where we're enjoying the OTR evening. And I guess it was a half hour ago we had just an incredible realization that in Caddyshack, when that I guess that priest dies on the golf course, they were playing the music from the Ten Commandments, the film, of course. So, boy, it's just a rocking evening. What more can you ask for besides Caddyshack and OTR?
All right, you know, I have never seen Caddyshack. I'm familiar with the tune because back in the early days, speaking of 47, when I worked at Channel 47 and did the sign-on in the morning, I used to play music, and one of the records that they had in the record library at Channel 47 was the soundtrack from that very movie, so it used to get played a lot early in the morning. We can't play it here because there are copyright violations, don't you know?
That's okay, although I'd be tempted to try and see if that would be enforced. Maybe not such a good idea.
Well, there you go. All right, we got you checked in, and you are sounding good. Over.
Thank you, sir. 73.
Over to Sammy, SWL 48. If you can hear me, Sam, I'm going to get you checked in. Over. And I need to put up the REA meter just to see, because as always, I pre-tune everything before I come on, and then when I start, it always appears that the signals are low or the audio is lower. something changes, but it looks like we're okay. Looks like I'm getting proper modulation occasionally. On the positive peaks, the negative peaks are being routed around the 532 to make sure they're okay. So I think we're good there. The Orban meter also letting me know that we are in the range of, I don't know, minus 21 to minus 15. I think the YouTube video sets everything to about a minus 16 LKFS. So all is good. Over to SWL 49. SWL 50. SWL 51.
SWL 51 checking in.
SWL 9. SWL 51 checking in. There's no 9s involved. There's no, I don't know where the 9 came from, but you are sounding, maybe you are 5 and 9. That's what it is. You're S9, good modulation, Chestnut and Herndon. Anyway, Dave, I've got you checked in. Over.
Over, Roger, welcome.
All right, thanks for joining us. SWL 52, Aaron checked in on the crossband moments ago, so I've got Aaron checked in, and he was sounding good. He's at a function tonight. SWL 53, Mr. Beller checked in also moments ago. That takes us to SWL 54. He's got a proxy check in for Board Jammer. And up to SWL 55.
55 checking in, Dennis, and I'm wondering if you've ever seen Vegas Vacation or Christmas Vacation.
I have seen. I've never seen Vegas. I haven't. I don't see a lot of movies. I don't get out a lot. So I've seen bits of Christmas Vacation. Although so many people told me that I should see that movie, and none of Vegas Vacation. Over.
I don't know how I feel anymore.
What was that? Over.
I'm not sure how I feel anymore. You've got to go watch those movies. Those are American classics.
They are. Actually, when I get time, I could probably rent a movie a day for 365 days out of the year and see movies like that, all the movies I haven't seen, and catch up on. And then I too would be fulfilling my duty as an American. So I will put that on yet another bucket list. Over.
Got it.
All right, and 55 is, oops, I got to turn the page, or I can't check in a whole bunch of people. 55 is checked in, stay cool up there. Over.
Thank you, Dennis.
Okay, and I think that is the proper Echolink node there on the chat window. Here's a station that passed their Boy Scout exam. They know how to make a fire no matter if the wood is wet, if it's snowing or whatever. SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. 56, just for kicks.
All right, just for kicks. I've had a few of those now and then. You are sounding good, and we've checked you in. Over.
Break station.
The break station, go ahead. Over.
50, you're checking in.
50. Well, perfect. I'm on the 50 row. I will get the 50 item checked in, and I will put the X in the square. And as always, you are sounding good here into Midtown. All right, good to hear Mark on the channel this evening. It's been a while, but still sounding good on the radio. Let's go to SWL 57. Brown Dog Audio from Central Kentucky with an X in the square. What is going on tonight? Whiskey Romeo 942 is checking in from a soon-to-be snowy south central bluegrass. And then probably even more snow because we're sending you guys more snow. Keeping the tubes warm by the fire this evening. Expecting to have a thaw out of the antenna with RF in the morning. That's what we're trying to do here. If you can't quite thaw it with a 5-watt DC input, maybe the FCC will look the other way as you increase that just a little bit. 57. You've got the X and square. Thanks for joining us. SWL 58. SWL 59, Uncle Hairball, you are out there somewhere. Did you check in early or are you here right now? It sounds like you might have been around. So I'm going to put the X in the square. Maybe you checked in. Maybe you checked in live on Old Radio Night. I just didn't hear it. We are DirectNet roll call. The tube radios will be coming up shortly, so don't go away. SWL 60. And I was told to give 60 a check-in that he might be listening or coming in a little bit later. So, Joe, if you're listening, we've got you checked in.
Okay, Dennis, I think we can check in. The game is over. We're going to say evening time to you and all the bunch out there. From the 291 base, SWL 60, checking in.
All right, 60 checking in the 291 base. Hope the game went well. And yeah, you're sounding good. No proxy necessary. The X is in the square.
Yeah, the game was a winner. We move on to the next one. There's only a couple more to the Super Bowl for us. So we're counting on it. Okay, Dennis, thanks a lot. We'll be back a little later.
All right, it is the countdown to the Super Bowl. That's right. I have no idea. I have no idea who's. Well, nobody has any idea who's going to be playing yet, but I have no idea who's going to be maybe be playing. So you will keep me informed of that. Sounding good. Thanks
for sure.
All right, sounding good, and thanks for checking in. All right, that seems to be working out. Let's try SWL 61.
61, checking in, Dennis.
All right, well, we got some good conditions. Thanks for being patient. I hope you are not out in the inclement weather waiting for your check-in, but if you are, it was successful and the X is in the square. Over.
Thanks, Dennis.
All right, 61. Copenhagen checking in. Chrissy, Dwayne tells me there's a 123B Robin checking in. There was one last week, so there may be one this week. We don't know, so don't go away. Stay tuned to the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's try SWL 62. SWL 63. Kind of getting caught up on my radio headphone cords here. SWL 64. Craig was in earlier. Got some wacky weather out the way. He said make sure that he gets checked in. So, Craig, if you are listening or watching the replay, you are indeed checked in. Thanks. SWL 65. I'll get a proxy check-in for Mr. Eric. SWL 66. SWL 67. I've got a proxy check-in for Bill. Actually, I got a regular check-in for Bill up in Oregon tonight. SWL 68. Michael checked in earlier, so I get an X in the square out there in New York. SWL 69. Kenny was in also not too long ago. So from Tulsa, we'll get you checked in, Kenny. Thanks for joining us. SWL 70. And who is that? Someone saying hello, Akak, saying hello to the honking proboscis of Bozo Control tonight, wreaking havoc as he always does through the green room and out the control here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's go to SWL 71. Stan, of course, from Dallas, Georgia, listening in, checking in not too long ago over at oldtuberadio.net. Stan, I hope you are doing okay. Maybe a weekend off, right? From doing all the things you do. Maybe not, but that's okay. You are here tonight, and we always appreciate that. Over to SWL 72. Shortwave listener 73. I will get a check-in for Mr. Music Instructor, because I did hear him on the 2-meter radio earlier. SWL 74. We've got a proxy for we've got a check-in for Miss Jilly. SWL 75. Shortwave listener 76, Red Fox 1 from Johnson, Rhode Island. Not Johnson Island and not Johnson Road, but Johnson, Rhode Island. Did I get 9 Oscar Charlie out there in the Ontario CB Club? Thanks for tuning in with us tonight. Just refreshing my pages here and doing some check-ins. Who has joined us here in moments? Somewhere at or near Baldwinsville, New York. Let's see what's going on in Baldwinsville at the end of the Saturday evening. 30 degrees in the 13027 area code. Quick facts, Baldwinsville is a village in Onondaga, I probably mispronounced that, Onondaga County, New York, United States. 2020 census had just under 8,000 people. So, got a pretty nice looking bridge out there. It'd be maybe you can drive up on that and do like the guys do in the mini grass and use that bridge as an antenna or something. Let's go to SWL 77.
Yes, sir. Made it back. And just want to wish everybody a good evening and thank you for everything you do, Dennis. And everybody.
W5GFO, Midland, Texas.
77, 01017 on the West Coast.
All right, looking good on the West Coast. And yeah, you guys you and 188 keeping the West Coast alive, no matter where the skip is coming in. All right, sounding good, got you checked in.
Thank you, sir.
All right, let me jump over to, see if I can do this, jump over quickly to the Echo link and see if we can't pick up Tim just for a quick contact here on Echo Link. KB6GFD, are you there, Tim? W5GFO, take a transmission, over. See if Tim is joining us from Fiveland here on the Echo Link tonight.
KB6GFD from W5GFO. Yes, I've got you in there. I started getting just randomly suggestions for your live stream on YouTube, started watching them, and decided that I really like them. So that's why I asked for it. Just wanted to check in real quick, let you know that I really enjoy the show, and I'm having fun trying to stay warm out here in West Texas with this polar cold front blowing through. Just saying hello. So W5GFO, Texas, back to you.
All right, and thanks for joining us. This is sort of an on-the-air, like you'd have a car club show where people bring in the fins and chrome of the 1950s and 60s. We're doing exactly that with the radios, the tube radios from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. We've got some great operators and great collectors, and like yourself, some shortwave listeners who tune in and enjoy the net and maybe have operated some of the radios themselves, and if not, enjoying what we do. So thanks for whoever made the suggestion. Good deal, and thanks for stopping by. We have various ways to check in and say hello, and you just found one of them. 73 to you. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network, KB6GFD. All right, that was a nice conversation. It's good to know that.
Very good, Dennis. Yeah, I love old tube
find
radios. I've restored a few myself, and that's probably why I started getting the suggestions. All right, I'll let you get back to it. W5GFO. Good night.
All right, 73 KB6GFD. And who was that? Somebody, no Johnson Nightlight. You know what? Let me see if I can do that. I'm kind of bound up on the chair here. And thanks for that suggestion. I need as much heat in the room as I can get tonight. Let's go over to, where am I at? Help me out here, chat. Okay, SWL 78. Out in Wild Wildemar. However, Rich is around in Wild Wildemar tonight. And Dwayne, I agree. Sometimes technology is a good thing. It's the 20th century, mid-century modern meets the 21st century here tonight. And we are trying not to let the smoke out. Let me see. Checked in earlier, but he might be out there. SWL 79. And that is Mr. DC. All right, I'll get him checked in because he wasn't earlier. SWL 80. Yeah, thanks for joining us, Tim. And then pull the what? Wait a minute. I'm trying to read what you've got here, chat. It says pull. I don't understand. Pull the rope. That doesn't. Wait a minute. Hold on. Am I reading this right? Pull rope. This is it. Now, here's the thing. This is what he's made. It says pull rope to reveal secret item, pull rope. Note. What's it? Note, we only have 1 minute allotted for this. All right, we're on a time scale. Here's the cue cards back. You know, if it wasn't for Chet. Sorry. We don't want to break stuff here. If it wasn't for Chet, I would not know what to do. Okay, what do you mean the pull the rope? And he says he's pointing to Charlie. Okay. What's the it's over here. All right, you give me the rope. I don't know what that is. I got 1 minute. All right. This looks more like a string to me. We've got a balloon. What? Okay, I've got the rope. Now what? It says let it down. All right. The old Tube Radio Network. I have no idea. I just play along here. I just play along. All right. Well, do not forget to feed the fish. We got prop department going overboard here. Well, that's pretty good. I hope Bob and Steve. Thanks to Bob and Steve, we never forget to feed the fish. Now what do I do? Can we get rid of this? What, I just keep pulling back up? All right. So what, do I have to hold this the rest of the night? All right, let me see if I can. I'll be right back. See if I can get this going so we can continue on. Don't forget to feed the fish on the old Tube Radio Network. All right, I'm back. Are we on time? We took 57 seconds. See, I'm a TV guy. I know what it means to stay on time. Directed net roll call. We're on page 4. We will be checking in your tube radios, were there to be any. I know there will be some tonight, so I'll bring them by. Let's go to SWL 81. SWL 82.
82 checking in from the Ditch Banks of Biola. Good evening. And looks like you're having a lot of fun there. And hey, thanks for doing the net.
All right. Well, you know, you don't have all these problems on Friday nights. You are able to just get in, get the check-ins, and do the net. And the net I'm speaking of is the Ditch Banks sideband net that happens here in the Central Valley of California. every Friday, most every Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on 27-365 lower sideband. You will hear that voice, Mr. Bones, as the net control most of the time, and he will be happy to check you in. There's a visitors section. Skip does happen, and it's a good time. So if you want to get on sideband, bring your tube radio. He will check you in. So thanks, Ron.
All right, Dennis, you are more entertaining. You got a lot of stuff going on there that there's no way I could do it. So, all right, and carry on, man. It's showtime.
All right. Well, I don't know what we on Saturdays. We don't forget to feed the fish. On Fridays, I don't know. I think we don't forget to feed the parakeet. I'm not sure. Anyway, you're sounding good. Over to JZ, SWL 83. He was in moments ago out there from Sylvania, Ohio. So JZ, I will get you getting you checked in, but the X in the square, as we say. Let's go to the SWL 84, the Cheerios Kid, SWL 86, 87, and 88, and that is Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl, respectively, all checked in. All right, I guess I'm on that. I just was hearing an echo. It's the least of my worries, right? SWL 89. Also hearing a lot of table thumping noise. We have the boom boom. Do we have the boom boom turned up a lot tonight? My apologies if you're listening on the big speakers and hearing some low frequency thumping. Let's go to SWL 90. Yeah, the sooner we get to the radios, the sooner I can stop talking here. SWL 91. Hello, Felix. And Felix is right there. Felix, the Felix Mobile, and I had a picture, I don't have it right now, was following me down the road the other day. The yellow, I think it's like a 1965 Volkswagen Bug with Felix the cat and this yellow color like a taxi cab was following me down the road yesterday, and I thought of SWL 91. So, of course, Felix says hello to the shortwave listeners, the old tube radio operators, of which there will be a few coming up. So stay tuned for that. SWL 92, SWL 93. And Steve saying we should get a good rain by 10 o'clock. Well, I'm ready. The roof is, antennas up. If I have to run back out there, we've got the rain jacket. And, I just noticed the pocket protectors is sort of rainproof as well. SWL 95. No, I'm sorry, SWL 93. We called that. SWL 95. And Chrissy says, don't forget to feed the cat. That is the most important thing. And don't forget to not feed the fish to the cat. Well, Pink Kitty did get some little treats, and Moochard got some treats. And so when I get out of the air chair, they will be ready for some more treats. And you can be guaranteed that they will not let me forget. SWL 420. I'm not going there. Checking in. Hello, Colo Radio. Stay safe indeed. Looking good on the net tonight. SWL 97 is in from Boston. Hello, Jim. Thanks for joining us, as always, here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's go to SWL 98. Tracy.
Hey, you missed me, brother.
SWL 96. Are you listening? Over.
Yes, sir. I'm listening. I'm glad that you're out there, and you do a great job. I don't know how you missed me, but anyway, that's okay. And one of these days, I want to shake your hand and meet you face to face and get to know you. Anyway, take care and keep up the good work.
All right, and likewise. And you know what? Chet is here on the cue cards, and he was sitting there pointing at your number because I was looking to the left, I was looking to the right. I'm trying to make sure that this stuff doesn't fall on my head that's on the rope. But you were there, and you're sounding good tonight. So what do they used to say? No harm, no foul. 96s, and likewise, I will be pleased to meet you at one of our local functions here at some point. So thanks for checking in.
That's okay, Dennis, and thank you for checking me in. And you have a great evening. 73 to everybody out there.
All right here on the Old Tube Radio Network, where we promote the use and distribute information about old tube radios for your 11-meter citizen band radio service. And we have been doing this since around 1986 on Saturday evenings. Myself and the various net controllers throughout the years, and the various tube radio operators and shortwave listeners that have come and gone and really enjoy on a Saturday evening to get on the radio. I mean, even if it's just once a week, it's good to know that there's something out there. And to introduce people, now that we're on the Universal Media Net Web, that may not have been around during the tube radio time, to show them some of the classic radios, and also to set the floor for what it was like to get on the radio. What, a conversation, just talking to somebody, without all some of the wackiness that goes on today. But that's up to everybody else. So we have a good time. Thank you, Dennis. One of the few Dennises out there, but we've got a couple. We've got a couple here on the Old Tube Radio Network. I was checking in for Tracy, SWL 98. Was Tracy on last? I wasn't able to. Unfortunately, my schedule didn't allow me to get on the Ditch Banks sideband that last week. So I will get Tracy checked in. I have got a lot of low frequency going on. I hope that is not. Can I fix that? Hold on. No, it looks like it's okay. Let's go. Oh, SWL 99. That was Radio Randy checking in earlier, and we're waiting for some good conditions for Randy to get through. I know the Echo link works, so I haven't broken it, and I'll try it again and see. We'll go to our TOT, our Tubes on the Air coordinator, who is getting ready for our tube activation. And of course, that is Tony out in McClellanville, South Carolina. KD4BAO from KB6GFD, over.
Good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. Good to hear you sound great on the air. Back to net control, KD4BAO.
Okay, I noticed my Echolink is now making a strange noise when there's the incoming signal comes on. So I don't know if I've got something turned on, or that's like they say, it's a feature, not a failure. You're sounding good, Tony. Thanks for getting the activation ready for Tubes on the Air and joining us on a Saturday evening here on the Old Tube Radio Network, 73, KB6GFD. From the Echolink back to Real Radio, let's go to shortwave listener 102. John, joining us from Scranton, Arkansas tonight. And what is that? Those are not jumping dolphins. Oh, I know. It is the little smiley face meme guy, but he's frozen solid. So no doubt you are getting a little bit of cold weather there. Saying hello to the tube radio operators, shortwave listeners. Someone left the door to the freezer open, don't you know it? And I'm complaining about having to wear a rain jacket. I don't have to wear long underwear and the snowshoes tonight, so thanks for checking in. Over to shortwave listener 103. Joey was in earlier from South Carolina, Tango Romeo 21 X-Ray. I'm not sure if he said he had to check out or not, but Joey, there it is. The X is in the square for 103. And, Crawdad. Mr. Crawdad checked in with us earlier on the early check-ins. Over to SWL 110. Upstate South Carolina, it says cold, HT. All right, 111 I know is in. Let me go back and just confirm that Robert did check in with us. I think the conditions are such that if he would stay up a little later, we would certainly get him checked in. Yeah, 111 is in. And there's 48 Sammy, I see you. And Mike, 40 minutes ago, let me get SWL 13 checked in, beaconing on the APRS from the, where is it? Is it still, I'm loading it up, see if it's still beaconing. Always takes a while. Yeah, the Yankee Tango Golf node is up and running, looking good here in the Central Valley. And Joey, 103, I see you. You checked in both sides, so there is no way I would miss you. Let's go to SWL 100, SWL 113. SWL 114.
114, checking in.
Hello, Wayne, 114, checking in, sounding good here in Midtown Fresno tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for checking me in, Dennis.
Then over to SWL 128. And that is John out in Fairfax, Virginia, just checking to see if he came in earlier. He will probably be in later. If not, I will get him a proxy with a proxy check-in. Hello to Toledo, Ohio, Ware Shoals, South Carolina, or somewhere close to that. We are looking for SWL 131. SWL 133. Oh, and there's John. You know, I had to look at the right screen. Sometimes there are so many places from which to choose. I see you, John. You are a digital SWL tonight. Checking in with the zeros and ones. So we've got you. Get the there it is. There you are, right there, checked in. A tricky guy. Let's go to SWL 131. Shortwave listener 133. SWL 135. Cliff, if you're listening, we are checking you in. Harvey reminded me that I would need to do that, and don't want you sitting out in the maybe less than dry Radio Cabana tonight. So all is well. Let's go to SWL 137. SWL 145, Tony up in Coarsegold. And I will get Tony checked in. And I will also say
Radio 886 BD on the crossband.
There he is, on the crossband. All right, you are just breaking my squelch on the two-way, Tony. I've got you checked in. If you can hear me, you are sounding good. Stay warm up there. Over.
Yeah, you got a good signal coming in tonight, Dennis. Thank you, and have a good night. Thanks for checking me in.
Okay, it's always my pleasure to get you checked in 73, KB6GFD.
K6BD unclear.
All right, Tony checking in on the crossband. And he does leave questions. So let me see what the questions are tonight from Tony. Question number 1. What is a magnetron used in? A magnetron. What is a magnetron used in? I know the answer to that. Because some people take that thing that the magnetron is used in, and when it has no useful purpose for here's the hint, for cooking your food, they will take out the magnetron, and it is specific to a certain frequency, and it's very possible that you can use it as a part in your transmitter, I think. Maybe. But the magnetron is used in microwave ovens. That's why that microwave frequency, you've got to have the little, mesh screen on your door, so that you do not get radiated with the microwaves on your magnetron. So, all right, I finally got one question. Let's see what else we got. Okay, question number 2. What is an 8JK? The number 8, the letter J, the letter K. What is an 8JK in ham radio? Well, I would think that's somebody's call, or like an old call. That's like an old call, I think, but I don't know. What is an 8JK? Is it some type of component part? The answer is, it is a type of antenna. The 8JK can be turned on its side to create another useful and popular antenna, the Lazy H. Well, I've looked at the Lazy H's before. So, all right, do your searches on the 8JK. I can't get my glasses straight. And that's better. And the Lazy H. But I wonder if the 8JK was after somebody's call who invented that. All right, Tony, as always, thanks for the questions. And yeah, Tim, you're right. The magnetron is technically, it's a tube. So what is it? Radiates, or somehow puts out the, what's the signal, like 22 gigahertz? Something like that? I don't remember, but that's the that's the microwave frequency. So when you go to heat up your pizza or warm the coffee up, you're actually transmitting a little bit. So maybe you should give out a call sign for the microwave oven.
2.4 gig.
2.4. Thank you, Larry. I knew it was up there somewhere. And Larry, have you ever pulled a magnetron tube out to make a radio?
Actually, not only that, I pulled a magnetron out of the oven, and I fired it up without it being inside the case.
And that can't be good.
You know, I was experimenting with it in the outdoor, and then about 10 minutes later, some Air Force jets started buzzing the place.
The guys in the black Cadillacs and the ties. Okay, I get it. No, say no more because the FCC is listening. The Old Tube Radio Network. Real radios are coming up in moments. 147 checked in, Neil, moments ago. The station that keeps us on the map, along with 77, 188. I think he was tuned up to this frequency. Let's see if he's by the radio. Hello, Bobby.
Good evening time, Dennis. Good evening time to all SWLs. 188 checking in.
Sounding good. And Snow Beast talked the skip off this evening. Just when I thought it was gone, he pointed his beam to the Netherlands, not Netherlands, but the Netherlands, and made a contact saying, we'll see you tomorrow when the skip comes in. You're sounding good, sir. Thanks for joining us.
10-4 evening time to all.
195 checked in from Course Gold earlier, and we'll say hello radio to 226 Shockwave. Anybody else that needs to get checked in before I run away and then come back so we can check in the tube radios? All right, looking and sounding good. I will be back in a moment. Your tube radios coming up next. If you've got some, fire them up. If you've got some stories about the radios you used, the tube radios you used this week, you can leave comments in our comment section, and we'll be back in moments on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Channel Break.
Break, Channel Break. Hello, 1, 2, 3.
Hello, 321.
They're not doing the check-ins tonight?
Hello, 1, 2, 3.
Hello, 1, 2, 3. Hello, 1, 2, 3.
And Dennis will be back at...
Hello, 1, 2, 3. Hello, 1, 2, 3.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Okay, we are back. I have affixed the pocket protector to the Old Tube Radio shirt, and we will try to do it this way. The jacket is, everything is wet, so we'll do it this way. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's going in the dark, and we are listening for your Tube Radio check-ins.
Hey, Dennis, I want to check in on 95, I think.
Is this Jimmy? Is this the ever-popular 777? Over?
Yes, it is, Dennis.
All right, then I will give a check-in to SWL 93. 93, thanks for joining us.
You too.
All right, and it's now time. We're right to get the transmitter cable. There's some better way to do this. Let me try it like that. Yeah, let me do the mocks. It is now time to listen for and check in those tube radios, and to stir a little bit of excitement. The jingle singers are at the ready. After that, I will be taking your tube radio check-ins.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, for music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
And we are listening for any and all check-ins. That's a good question. What? That's a good question. What type of radio night will it be? Will it be a radio check-in night or an eagle check-in night? Some robins, some birds, some green radios, blue radios? You just don't know. OTR is listening. And I was about to say, will there be any check-ins? And I think we may have our first one. Hello, 60. You have saved the day. Over.
Top of the evening to you, Dennis. I'd like to check in from World Radio Labs, my Hustler Radio. I think it is. I think it's ready. It's been on since the beginning of the net. I hope I'm making the trip to you okay.
You're making the trip great. I notice my noise level is very low. I think the rain has sort of washed out the yuckiness in the air. It certainly hasn't messed up my antenna system too much. And so I will throw it over to you. We have a picture of the Big Blue radio, which you are famous for. Also famous for World Radio Labs, but famous right here in Central California for the Hustler, courtesy of the Hustler. Over.
Thank you much, sir, Dennis. Yeah, we have a little radio here. It's a blue one, of course. 7 tubes. I believe it has 8 channels on it. I couldn't be for certain of that, but we know this one is working. Anyway, channel 11 on my dial, it's 3. And I did a little bit of fine tuning, and you're smoking this evening. I don't know. Maybe the rain did grab that old coax and kind of whip it around a little bit and gave it right back to you, because you're blowing smoke.
Well, thank you, as they say, thank you for the flowers, and it helps to have a radio with a good receiver. Leo Meyerson and Globe and World Radio Labs not only had great transmitters, which they were known for, but they managed to get a good receiver in there with that 7 tubes. You are correct about the 8 channels, crystal controlled. However, you are able to tune all 23, albeit a bit precariously with that little tuning knob there, but you are, if you're hearing me, you are definitely on channel 11, over.
Roger on that there, Dennis. We are on a Turner Plus 3. It is a gray base Plus 3. Doggone it, I haven't checked the battery lately, but it seems to be transmitting. Although I have a little light on this right below the spotter switch. Does a lot of flickering on its own. Nothing from my end that I'm doing, but doggone it, other than that, it's got a little bitty speaker, has 4 knobs, and well put together. It's got a meter, and it kind of starts funny when you first key it up, because it comes from, I don't know now if it was from the top to the bottom or bottom to top, something like that. It has a crystal slot for a desired crystal, so we're keeping that in mind, and it is dressed. It does have its hardware on it, so if I did want to carry it, probably maybe put it in a mobile, it would it'd be easy to hook up.
It probably would be, and if you couldn't mount it, you could always put it in the, like I used to do. I used to run my Regency Imperial Mobile, and I would just strap it in to the passenger seat next to me, and if there was a passenger, well, you know, they would have to sit in the back, but at least it was safe.
Yeah, nowadays we're not equipped in these cars anymore for these things. Doggone it, I kind of miss the metal dash, you know, like on an old 59 Ford, maybe an old 59 Ford pickup, something you could do a little bolting. Nowadays these cars, you're kind of saddled in, and you it kind of looks like you're operating a spaceship, nowhere to hook up a radio. But this is my, from World Radio Labs, my Hustler base. I wanted to check it in.
All right, and for those, and I'm glad you did, for those who are watching the video, and this is the only place you can see it, I found the original World Radio Laboratories logo, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty apropos for the time. There's a picture of the world, the Earth, in a banner that says everything in radio wrapped around it. At the top of the Earth there, the North Pole, although it's somewhere else, there is a radio beacon with little radio waves coming out, and to the left it says World in nice little script, and to the right it says Radio, World Radio Laboratories, and it says Council Bluffs, Iowa. So that was a big deal back then, and it's a big deal right now here on the Old Tube Radio Network with the Blue Radio. Take another transmission, and thanks for bringing it by, over.
Thanks for letting me check this one in, Dennis. And yeah, we are a skosh a bit proud of this little rascal for the size and what it does. Easy to put in tight places. It's a small radio, maybe 5 by 9 or something like that long. Not very big. Okay, Dennis, thanks a whole lot. We'll get another one warmed up.
All right, our radio number one on the list, the Hustler from World Radio Labs. I don't have an exact date on this, but we're pulling it, pegging it as the probably mid-1960s, I think pre-Globe communications, but nice to know that they did produce something for us in World Radio Labs in Council Bluffs. Thanks for bringing it by on the Old Tube Radio Network. And I was checking, do we have a pen for the pocket protector tonight? There looks like we don't have one, or do we? Where's the pocket protector's over here. Okay, no, that's fine. I've already got one in here. Is there one from last week? It is thanks from Harold CB Radio, Sales and Service, Air Conditioning and Body Shop. I remember that, out there in South Haven, Kansas. It's probably colder than you know what. We are listening for radio number 2. And I think when it gets cold like this, everybody kind of hunkers around their favorite warm beverage under a blanket. And if the blanket's not near the radio, well, that's okay. And Foxman, I don't know if I'm such a pen collector. It's just they keep handing them to me to populate the pocket protector. So maybe I have, by no fault of my own, become a pen collector. Although they're pretty cool. They're pens from the era where you're buying the radio brand new back in 1965. You might have been using one of these pens from one of these people. All right, Joe, you are keeping us in business here tonight. So I'm glad you've got electricity over there. SWL 60, I think I know the radio you've got. It is a good one. I'll find the picture before you even say what it is, but go ahead.
Yeah, you're right about that. I'm going to have to take a pause before I even transmit. And I'm enjoying the heat from the tubes, keeping my little room warm here. Dennis, I'd like to check in my Johnson Messenger T00. 10 tubes. I guess I got around. I guess it's got around 23 channels, probably.
Well, similar to where I have a picture of it. Let's see. Oh, there it is. It's not showing up. Similar to your radio of moments ago, it is a crystal control transmitter. With this one has 10 channels instead of 8, but it does allow you to tune in. Were you to have the giant magnifying glass, go to that little circle on the right side of the radio, and indeed that's a variable frequency selector to get all 23 channels. Over.
Yeah, you're right, Dennis. 10 channels. I've got probably a Scotia bit of scribble in there alongside the channels. It's down to 10 channels, and I think that I would be on C, the letter C, according to the indicator, and would be on channel 11. That put me on 11. Yeah, the lights, like you say, they are small. You basically got to get on top of them, but they're clear and they're bright. And there's 4 knobs on this one too. You got your volume, or your squelch, and your tuner, and your indicator that's got lettering on it. And like I said, we got 10 tubes in this one, 10 channels, and I think this one will probably go mobile too.
It will indeed. There's I don't know if they sold a version of that came with the plug, the 12-volt plug. There was a 242-162 and a 242-163. Now, one of those is probably the 12-volt model, and one of those is probably the 115-volt AC. I'm thinking it's the 163 is what you've got, the 162. So they were probably sold as that with the plug, although I'm sure you could probably get the plug installed. I don't think it was an internal item of interest. Sounds good. It was a good workhorse, a real good chassis. You know, Johnson kept this when they made the 223. They basically kept this radio and added some pieces to it. This was an upgrade from the Messenger 1 or the Viking, adding some channels and I think some selectivity and an AVC and some other things to help the receiver out. So you can't go wrong with this. There's a way to add the, and I think Harvey told us about it a week or so ago, and I'll bring up a picture if I can. If you go to the back, you should have probably a plug in the back that's above where the radio plugs in. There's a looks like a tube almost with no glass on it. That's plugged in to make some connections. But were you to pull that out, there's a accessory you can put in to do the tone call thing. So make sure you keep that plug in there, or I don't think the radio will fire up. It is sounding good for our radio to take a transmission.
Yeah, you're right, Dennis. It does have that plug in the back. Like you say, I've had the cover off of it. In order to get the cover off, you've got to pull the plug. And it's kind of neat because as you're pulling those plugs, you know, it makes it much easier to get the cover off. But I guess that maybe would probably be the 12-volt system to it if I did hook it up in a mobile or in a car or something. Okay, Dennis, I've got another one warmed up here, and this one here, she's well, I tell you what, she gives out natural heat. This Johnson, those 10 tubes are letting loose a lot of heat. Okay, Dennis, I appreciate it. Let me check this one in, and I'll get to another one.
All right, and heat is a good thing on an evening like tonight. No problem there at all. The E.F. Johnson Messenger TWO, not Roman numeral 2, but spelled out Tango Whiskey Oscar, from the E.F. Johnson Company, or as they were known back in 1923, 101 years ago, the E.F. Johnson Technologies Incorporated, thanks to Edgar Frederick Johnson out there in Waseca, Minnesota. Sounding good here 100 years later in Fresno, California, in the Central Valley of California. Thanks for bringing it by. Radio number 2, over.
Thanks. Thanks, Dennis, for letting me key this one up. And this is my Blackface Johnson. That's what I forgot to say. I forget the beauty of the black in front. Kind of gives this radio character. Okay, we got another one warmed up. We'll get right back to you, Dennis.
All right, and thanks for reminding me. That was the pet name for that, the Blackface Johnson, as opposed to the Whiteface Johnson, which was the earlier model, the Viking, which in theory was the same color. It was silver. It was like if you look below the Blackface and you've got the silver front, that was the Whiteface Johnson, but it went all the way through. All right, the Jingle Singers are ready to tell us what it is that happens here on a Saturday evening, and we are looking for radio number 3 when we come back on the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
What are you talking on tonight, Dennis?
Let's see, tonight I am on the large plastic radio because I don't want to upstage the tube radios tonight. So I'm going to let them do all the talking. Over.
Oh, okay. I just was wondering because you sure are loud over here.
Well, that's probably because you have a good receiver.
I must be.
Yeah, by no fault of my own should I sound loud, but sometimes that happens.
Yeah, I want to be loud myself so I can talk to my brother in Oklahoma.
I bet your brother in Oklahoma is trying to figure out how to stay warm.
Yeah, he is.
And we're just trying to figure out how to stay dry here with a little bit of rain. Okay, they want me to do... can we do this again? Pull the rope again. All right, I'm going to break something. Here we go. When there's a... Well, this is pretty good when there's a moment. You know, when it gets slow, we just do the fish thing. You know, there it is. All right, I like that. Wow, that really messes up the white balance, doesn't it? Thanks to our props department. It reminds me of the, I hope it works. What was on Get Smart? They had that dome, the cone of silence that would come down. It would never work right. I have a feeling that could, that's the fate that could happen to our Don't Feed the Fish thing. We're just kind of stuck in the way, but we'll see what happens. The Old Tube Radio Network, we are listening for your radio check-ins. All right, I've got two. Joe, stand by. Head over to the green room. You will be radio number 4. And then we're going to head out to Sangertown, radio number 3 for Sean, if you can hear me. Over.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear tonight. SWL 14, and I'd like to check in my Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV tonight.
All right, putting a good signal in. My noise level has come up, just resting noise level has come up a little bit, but still hearing you fine. Going to the Rolodex for the Mark IV, the last of the Golden Eagle style Brownings. Unfortunately, almost... 45 years ago or so, but they are still going strong. So take a transmission. Over.
Yeah, it's still going strong, and it's a Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV. Sorry about that. On a Silver Eagle amplified microphone.
Silver Eagle D104 amplified. Is there and I'm looking for, this is not the greatest picture, and I can't tell from the markings if Browning added a mic gain somewhere on the Mark IV. I'm just curious if you have a mic gain where you've got it set for the amplified microphone, because you sound good. It doesn't sound like it's overdriven at all. Over.
Yeah, it's just set on the microphone. No mic gain on the Browning Golden Eagle, only a RF gain.
Okay, well, RF gain can be a good thing. I'm surprised that more radios didn't incorporate that. I don't know if it needs its own tube to function, but for a receive item, sometimes that can help you with keeping the noise level down and pulling signals out of the mud if you want, but hopefully you don't. Hopefully you don't have to do that with me. Browning Golden Eagle.
Yeah, speaking of noisy, somebody wants to say hi.
This is Dirt Dog 982. Dirt Dog 982.
Yeah, so he wanted to go ahead and get on there so he can hear himself on the replay.
All right, Dirt Dog 982, DD982, sounding good. If he's still there, have him take another transmission. We've got some good audio, and I will put up the S meter on that, so you can give yourself a radio check for sure. So 982, Dirt Dog, go ahead.
Dirt Dog 982. Dirt Dog 982. Checking in.
All right, excellent. Got a good S7 signal well above the noise and beaconing out not only here in the Central Valley of California, but everywhere else on the Universal Media Netweb on the replay. So hope you can hear that, and thanks for joining us. Over.
Yeah, he just wanted to check in real fast. We've got a serious game of Monopoly going on here tonight, Dennis, so I'll let you guys get back to it, and I appreciate the time for the Mark IV.
All right, very good. Yeah, there's a Monopoly game. Sometimes they don't take a long time, and sometimes they can take a real long time. So keep it going. Some of the SWLs listening in saying a good choice of microphone for that radio, sounding very clean, and I would agree. It's nice punchy audio, but doesn't sound like it's overdriven, and is a perfect match for the Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV from Browning. And I'm seeing if it gives me any more information, but I think that's all the information we need. Thanks for bringing it by, and Radio 3 sounding good.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the time tonight, and everybody out there have a good evening and stay dry.
Indeed. The Old Tube Radio Network. Uh-oh. There we go. My internet. I think our internet is doing weird things tonight. So if the video is a little bit slow, we're having some internet malfeasance going on around here in the Central Valley tonight. Radio 4, we'll call Joe, Mr. Hustler, up to the Old Tube Radio air chair, and Joe, take a transmission over.
Thank you, Dennis. Dennis, I'd like to check in my 223 Johnson 223 Messenger.
All right, from E.F. Johnson Messenger 2, and that's a good progression to the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223, and there's a reason for that name. Think of the Messenger 2, and then think of the 23 channels that you definitely have on that radio, where you can see them right in the front, and there's no, it's a little easier to tune. There's no go over here and go over there, right? It's one knob does it all. Over.
That's about it. You summed it up right there, Dennis. Yeah, on the face there, we have a good-sized speaker. It looks like maybe a 4x4 inch speaker on it. And it's similar to the one you got there in the back of you. It's got a nice meter. It has a nice, where the channel selector and the meter are close together. It's well lit. And it's two knobs. One to turn it on. That would be your squelch. Don't go no further than once it's on, it's on. And your other would be your volume. And yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Good looking radio, good solid radio. It is a base radio. I don't think this one will go mobile.
Well, you'd have to do some trickery. You'd have to have like a DC to AC conversion unit or something like that. But yeah, you bought this as the base, and at this time when this started coming out, they started making some solid state radios like the 323 and the 123, or as you mentioned, you could use your Messenger 2, which is pretty much the same radio. It just doesn't have the 23 transmit channels. I really like the way they did this. Didn't have to have the wood cabinet, but it didn't look too utility, you know. It didn't look like it was something that she should keep out in the shop. It was very clean looking with the metal front, very constructed really well and they kept the front easy to read with the channel selector, the big meter, and then you're right about that. It does say squelch, and it doesn't say on or off. Well, I guess it says off. It doesn't say on, but it says off. So I guess you would have to know that that is the knob you need to turn it on, even though it doesn't say so.
Yeah, and if it does say anything, it's below the knob, and that's the dark side. That makes it kind of hard to read. Although the front is, she's like you say, it's a well-built radio. It always kind of reminds me of my '65 Buick, looking at the front end. But we're happy to that you let me check this one in, Dennis, and it is on the original stock mic.
That's the desk microphone?
This is the desk mic, and the logo is printed right at the face of the speaker. So I think it says Johnson on the bar. You mash it down. The original mic.
Yes, I switched to a different radio. This one has the modulation light. I think you said yours didn't. That's why I was showing the other photo. But this has the supplied Johnson desk mic, I think from Turner, but they were, like you said, they put the Johnson name on the push-to-talk bar. Interestingly enough, I guess you could buy it without the microphone. It said the price was $199, or you could add that microphone for, make it $14.95, and I think a lot of people did. It's like, well, you know, you got to have a microphonium with the radio, and it gave it the aura of this is definitely a bass radio, and you've got the bass microphone that goes with it, and it looks good. And like your 65 Buick that had the 3 holes, portholes on the side, this has about 200 over the top to let the hot air out, looking good. And getting some good comments from our listeners tonight for Radio 4. E.F. Johnson, Messenger 223, the pride of Waseca, over.
Thank you much, Dennis, and appreciate the comments. Very welcome there on those comments. And yeah, you're definitely right about the preparation of all these holes on the unit. It does help keep it cool a little bit, because there are 10 tubes in here, and they need that all the help they can get. Okay, Dennis, that'll do it for me there. I'm gonna listen in on the rest of the CBers there, the radio operators there as they come.
All right, we got a few more minutes to check in the radio, getting some good comments. Lloyd mentioning the microphone looks like a Turner Plus 2, and then Dwayne saying, yeah, same insides minus the audio preamp, and that was made by Turner for Johnson, but a classic microphonium style. If you need more information and can find a Sam's Photo Fact 23, the page 53 where it starts, the information on that. And then it looks like at oldtuberadio.com it says there's a schematic for the Johnson Messenger 223 there as well. Sounding good for our fourth radio of the evening. The Jingle Singers will be by in just seconds, and then we'll be listening for Radio 5 on your Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, the friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
Oh, and I didn't mention that is I believe that is an electronic switching radio, meaning that you need to have the microphone plugged into the front of the radio, screwed in and plugged into the mic jack, or else you do not hear the receiver.
That's right, Dennis. Yeah, that's right about this one here. You take off, you disconnect the mic, there's no sound. And you were right about no modulation light, although Harvey said that underneath somewhere there was a little light that would probably be the modulation light.
but it's in the under the cover somewhere. Yeah, but I thought it was kind of cute that they designed this radio with this desk mic that you would think would be a power mic, but it's kind of unique. It's a desk mic, and you have to kind of get up to it a little bit, but it'll do.
And I wonder if there was some discussion between E.F. Johnson and Turner about that, saying, well, we would like to get the power mic, and they were saying, well, no, we're keeping that as our sales tool so we can sell them another microphone. It's like no reason to buy that microphone if they give you one. The other issue would have been they could have put a mic preamp like some of the radios were doing with the range boosts or Dynaboosts that people were doing. I'm not sure why Johnson didn't do that. And maybe they just thought it wasn't, if you tune it right, it may not be necessary. And it really isn't. You sound good. As you know, sometimes if you get the amplified microphone up too high, you get a little bit of distortion, although these radios, the tube radios are really good at not doing that. And then, of course, the FCC started making them put in compressors and limiters and modulation limiters just for that very reason, because people started overdoing it. But yours sounds fine with no problem. When I wanted to mention, I still have not found those missing 3 or 4 months of check-in sheets. They're here somewhere, because I was going to try and see what our radio tally for 2023 was. So I will keep on the lookout for that. It might be June. I'll do some late spring cleaning and find them. But when I do, we'll have the 2023 radio roundup.
Well, there's not much I can do for last year's count, but this year's perhaps I can. How about a robin for this year?
A robin is a good thing. Let me get back to the control room here, and we will reset the radios. Tell us about the robin. Christy will be probably watching the replay, or Dwayne marked this, whatever the timestamp is on the video, so that when Chrissy gets to the video portion, she can tune in to the Robin radio and let her know that we did get one tonight. So you can be the hero tonight with the Robin radio. Go ahead, tell us what you got, over.
Well, I don't know if I've ever been included in the same sentence as a hero, but maybe this radio is. Because it functions, and I can't say that about the rest of my radios in the lounge here. This is the Robin T123B. Yes, I did a few seconds ago start screaming into it because I looked down at the modulation lamp on this guy, and it was doing practically nothing, and it's kind of doing the same thing right now. This does not have, unfortunately, doesn't have a match guide tube. Those things are really enchanting. I'd highly recommend that everyone get a radio with one in their collection, but this one does not. Just a very small, perhaps LED modulation lamp, and it does almost nothing with this stock unamplified microphone.
Just looking at the S meter, it is moving. It's moving forward. I'm not sure were you to have something that would actually put 100% modulation in there to see how forward the meter would go, but I think there's enough that we can hear you. I looked at the Orban meter at -18, so there's no problem. However you're doing it now, if that's not giving you a headache and you can keep it up for a couple of minutes, you're good to go, over.
No, it's not giving me a headache, and even if it was, it's just so fun to use. any of the radios that I have, and I'm sure that other ones that folks use as well, they're just so absolutely delightful. It's not a small little piece of techno garbage that's going to be obsolete in about 3 years. It has heft. It puts out odors. It puts out heat, and definitely puts out quite a bit of enjoyment.
This is the quite a bit of enjoyment frequency, and it has some style. It's sort of like automobiles. I will give you that the automobiles today are safer. They've got some very good creature comforts that you didn't get before. Styling is, I suppose, in the eye of the beholder. They all seem to be kind of the same style because they're all, begat in a wind tunnel to get good efficient gas mileage to make up for whatever they have to, whatever gas mileage ratings they need to be. But the older cars that, would poke you in the head when you hit their dashboard and would have unsafe little protuberances on the outside had some class and some style, and these radios are sort of like that. So the radios that we're checking in here today on the Old Tube Radio Network are definitely not your 21st century styling, but then again, that's why we love them. Over.
Oh yeah, I could not have said it better. It's funny. I always struggle for new comments to make about these radios, but I can say for this one, perhaps something I don't talk about a lot. This one is actually standing right now on its mobile mounting bracket. And it's the only radio I've got online, for lack of a better term, that is on its mobile bracket. Yeah, it's standing on it instead of being suspended by it. But it definitely would have taken a lot of real estate under that 71 Ford Torino dash.
Exactly, and a lot of the pictures I have are displayed just like that. The one I'm showing now that's on the original box, using the mobile mounting bracket, the triangular or the rectangular bracket on the bottom. The picture I was showing previously, and that is, I think that's Cliff Photo. Same thing. It is on its mobile mounting bracket. So it seems like that is something that was probably shipped with the radio that people didn't take off because, like you said, it works so well. And it's painted green. It matches the color. Speaking of which, and Hans asks a good question. How many different colors did the Robin come in? He's seen yellow and the green. The inside of the Robin, of course, is a Panasonic second generation chassis that a lot of the radios that we check in, the Blue Gem Marine products, and I think the T-Berry Model T was black and red. So Robin used the green color for the T123B and did a nice little green insert on the knobs. And then the yellow one that he was referring to is their 40-channel version. That's the T240D. So they upgraded the radio as they had to per the FCC, and then used the yellow. It's got its moniker, the Yellow Bird. I don't think I've ever heard anybody call this the Green Bird, but it is their color, and they did a good job of making the case and the front and everything else with some little striping. So that is the two colors, at least for the Robins. The other Panasonic chassis picked their color, and I just wonder if there was some copyright thing saying you can use the insides, but Robin gets the green, and Robin gets the yellow, and Gemtronics gets the blue, and whatever. That's something I'll have to keep an eye out for to see in that chassis selection where there are other duplicate colors. Certainly not for the Robin green radio. Back to you for a transmission, because I'm doing all the talking, and we want to hear the radio. Over.
Okay. Well, I've never, ever been accused of having too much fashion sense, and I can't make any comments about colors, or at least I shouldn't be. I guess if indeed this radio is green, it sort of blends in, as do all of my other radios. I don't know why in God's name would someone make a yellow one. I've kind of wanted a yellow bird. But what were they thinking? Was that supposed to look good? The only
thing I can think of is maybe with flash in,
you know, you can go get a brand new Porsche these days with yellow painted brake calipers. But why in God's name back then would someone want a yellow radio?
Maybe you could use it in your taxi company. I don't know. All right, we did, as per a request, did a frequency check on the Robin, the Green Bird, 27084.6, so 400 cycles low, well within the 700 allowed by the FCC, and certainly unnoticeable to anybody on a typical AM filter. Doing a good job and making our Robin fans happy. This was produced from 1972 to 1976, and I have a feeling they might have just kept going with those. It was a good radio, but because of the 40-channel thing, they had to change their ways. 11 tubes, 2 transistors. The transistors help it to do the DC in the car conversion. 5 watts DC input, made in Japan from Panasonic Corporation. And the tube 6 volts, 12 AX7 in the audio, and what is the 6 BL8? I'm looking for the output. RF power, 6 BQ5 in the output amplifier. So it works good. I think all your tubes are working just fine. Over.
Oh, great. Thanks. Listen, I've taken up too much time as it is, but I will sign off on this. I'm curious as to if you remember what the first automobile was that you actually had a CB permanently mounted in it. And question number 2, do any of your automobiles now have a radio in them? And on that, I will say 73, and I will be listening.
All right, well, good question. I have never personally had a radio permanently mounted in any automobile I have, whether it's was an amateur radio or a citizen band radio. The first citizen band radio that I had that I put in a car was my Realistic Navajo TRC-23B, and that was in my in the family in my father's 1969 Ford station wagon. So when we went on trips, I made a cable to plug into the cigarette lighter that went around the side and down the floorboards out of the way into the back seat where I was, and then I had the radio set up, and it was a big bass radio, but it had the 12 volts like yours, and had it set up so I could run it that way. And then I had, I think, a little gutter mount antenna that would go out the window where I was and go onto the side of the car. And let me tell you, I don't recall what price that was for me to actually get that radio in the car and an antenna attached. I have a feeling it was like a lot of yard work. And I promise I'll do this if you'll let me put that radio in the car when we go on the trip. So that was the first one. And then my Regency Imperial used to accompany the passenger seat in my 1970 Buick Riviera, along with my, back in the day, the Yaesu FT101, which you don't want to install that in the car, but it did work. So anyway, that's the long answer to your question. Over.
Okay, and I said I wasn't going to key it, but I'm going to. The Navajo radio, did you actually purchase that at Radio Shack?
That was my very first purchase. Before that, I had the Helicrafter CB11A walkie-talkies, which is what got me started. And then in 1970, I believe I had saved up enough money, and then with the help of a little birthday gift, I went over to Radio Shack and purchased the Realistic Navajo, brand new in the box, for I think it was $119 or something like that, plus an antenna, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Okay. Well, you mentioned wiring that up and using it in the back of the car on trips. And no, I didn't get a Navajo radio from Radio Shack, but what I did get from Radio Shack and used quite frequently in the back of the car on the trips up to Carmel and whatnot was the Radio Shack, oh God, what was it, 181 electronics projects kit in one, whatever. You could build whatever it was, 180 different projects on this board that had all sorts of components on it. It was a big hit. I love that sucker. I don't think anyone appreciated the buzzing alarm chapter on the long car trips, but oh my God, that was just a delightful toy.
It was. I bet they sold a lot of those. Obviously, they're not selling them anymore, but you might be able to find them, of course, at some science fair project. And there was the like 101 kit. I think Heathkit had something similar to that, but they called the Electronic Projects Lab. And it was a good thing. I never had something. I think my older brother had something like that. Says he was a little bit more astute at connecting wires and making the things work. Over.
Oh, that's a great story. Yeah, I'm sorry they don't make those anymore. That's almost a crime in my book. Those things were just delightful and wonderful to learn by.
All right, the closest I can find is the 161 Electronic Projects kit, where they have the picture of the whole family in front of the multicolored little circuit board with the preset little, I guess it was the clips to hold whatever wiring or components you needed, and it looks like it's got a buzzer and a little antenna and a place for batteries and a 9-volt battery, and they called it, this one was called the Science Fair Project, and it's from 1982. And it's the $30 on an eBay near you. Over.
Okay, good. I'm starting I'm starting this year's Christmas list already. Thank you, OTR. I appreciate that.
All right, very good. Thanks for bringing by radio number 5, the Robin T123B. We're going to head over to the Jingle Singers, and then I'll be doing counting and amounting, and we'll have to find some other way to stay warm because we'll be turning the tubes off here shortly. Thanks for your Robin Radio tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network is standing by and counting and amounting.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
Break OTR.
The break OTR, go ahead. Over.
Yeah, I'd like to check in an Old Tube Radio.
You have come to the right place, sir. The Old Tube Radio Network is known worldwide for doing just that. Over.
Fantastic. Okay. My meter doesn't indicate it. Oh, there we go. I had to switch the meter. Switch the meter from S to RF. Okay, what we have here is a 40-channel tube-type radio. It's made by Gemtronics, and it is the model GTX 5000. And
I take it is working a little bit better than the 2-meter radio at the moment.
Actually, I have fixed the 2-meter radio, and I haven't plugged the microphone in just yet.
All right, I have a less than stellar picture of the Gemtronics GTX 5000. It is one of the Panasonic chassis we were just talking about. Since it is 40-channel, it is the version that came out after 1976 that would be similar to the Robin T240D. And my less than stellar picture, I cannot tell what colors might be on the Gemtronics. There might be a bar across the bottom where it says Gemtronics, and then the case itself. What color say you?
Well, pretty much the colors look very similar to that as in the picture. The meter is green on the bottom and kind of white with red thingies on the top there. So the TX light is glowing red, and then when I unkey, the RX light glows green, and the channel display is, of course, red LEDs. But if you look inside through the vent holes on the top, there are things that glow mostly orange. And I remember one time I saw a blue or purple glow inside on one of the tubes.
Probably that was it, the modulator tube. My Regency Imperial used to do that. Would you give the case itself, would you give it a specific color?
Oh, yeah, it's black.
All right, well, maybe my picture is accurate. Maybe that's why it looks monochrome, because it's black. So there you go. This one got the black color. It's got the nice little stand similar to the Robin, and I agree. It looks like a Robin clone because it basically is inside. They just didn't get all the dials and things that the Robin did. It is 40 channels. Channel 11 is one of them, and that's a good place to be on a Saturday evening. The Gemtronics GTX 5000. And what was the microphonium again, over?
It's the Turner Plus 3 microphone. It's amplified. It's got a battery inside of it. So that's the microphone. What else? Let's see. Oh, yes, the radio is very, very warm on top. In that one spot on the front right corner there.
And someone mentioned that on the chat, and I know Michael will talk about that. On these Panasonic radios, they run pretty hot. They run really hot, as a matter of fact. And so, yeah, if you want to wrap up your porterhouse steak in some nice heavy-duty aluminum foil while you skip for a couple hours, when you are done, your steak will be cooked to perfection. Similar to the Robin T240D, the T-Berry Model T, the Shakespeare, the Colt. That is your GTX 5000 from Gemtronics. And before we go, it says remove the limiter. So these had limiters. It says remove the limiter by clipping D106. That'd be diode 106. Taking limiter out really gives the mic audio more highs and low range. Have you done that D106 thing?
Oh man, no, I haven't. I'm kind of scared to do that. But I should note the meter when I modulate, and it definitely modulates forward on the meter. So maybe it doesn't need it. I don't know. But yeah. Oh, and I'd like to mention the Science Fair line at Radio Shack. You know, I think I only got one of those kits, you know, the multi-project kits back in the day. But I used to actually get these little, it was a Science Fair projects where it was only just one deal. But it was in these little red. It was a red plastic box. I think it was like clear on the bottom of the box and then red on top, where you'd put the springs on top or something on top, and you would solder it together. And those are some really neat things. On the Science Fair deal, and they sell for hundreds of dollars. If you find one that's unassembled, they go for hundreds of dollars on eBay. Back to you,
Dennis.
This is the Basic Dennis, over.
Check me in. The Browning Golden Beagle. I've got to get to bed here. Anyway, Golden Beagle. And I'll catch you tomorrow, next day, something like that.
All right, it's been a long day, and I know you got a busy week, so thanks for checking in. I will get the radio checked in and get some rest. Thanks. And Larry, you are right. The one I was showing had little spring clips, so you didn't need to do any soldering. You just put the little jumper wires to where it needs to go, and they were color-coded. And all was good. Radio 6UR with the Gemtronics GTX 5000, and thanks for bringing it by.
Fantastic, and I would like to mention the stream. I'd like to please, everyone listening to the stream on YouTube, please like and subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. Back to you, Dennis.
Okay, I'm not a YouTube guy, so I don't know what liking does, but if people come in wherever they, if it's oldtuberadio.net, they're listening, if they're here live, if they're watching the video at some time, and they get something out of it, because we have some great radio operators that come in and share their radios. They take time out of what they're doing on Saturday. They store these things in places. They spend money on eBay, and then they're able to share them with what we do. That is a great thing. So if we're able to promote that, that's great. It helps people who had these radios. We get a chance to chat with the people around the globe as well who are doing similar things, or maybe who never did a similar thing, but I think it's pretty cool, and future radio enthusiasts in the Citizen Band or amateur radio band, so it's all good. Whether you like it or not, but if you like it, we're glad you do. The Jingle Singers are going to help us out here, so a lot of people would like to have their cup of hot tea and stay warm can do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
All right, the current and final totals tonight, radio-wise, we had really 87 check-ins tonight. On 20 on page 1, 21 on page 2, 19 on page 3, and 25 on page 4. That's all. Everything is dry now. I think it stops raining outside. All is good. Oh, you know what? I'm going to, whether they're still there or not, but while I'm chatting here, and the internet is doing a weird thing, while I'm doing the radios, I'm going to bring up the Squamish link up. So, Albert, if you guys are out there, and you are within the sound of my voice, I'll turn up the audio here a little bit. Go ahead and take a check-in. And we'll bring up the audio. We'll bring up the audio when we hear you. But the Old Tube Radio Network tonight, 87 SWLs checking in, and 6 radios with the, looks like the E.F. Brownings, the E.F. Johnson. You know, it's getting late. With the E.F. Johnsons being the most heard. We started with the Hustler from World Radio Labs, thanks to Joe, and he also brought by our first E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. Then we went to the Brownings, the Golden Eagle Mark IV. Dirt Dog 982, sounding good on the microphonium of that. Thanks, Sean out of Sanger. Radio 4 tonight with the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. And that first Messenger was a Messenger 2. I got a 223 written down there, but it was actually a 2. Joe brought by the 2 and the 223. The Robin T123 from B, from Mike. And you just heard the Gemtronics. You just heard the Gemtronics GTX 5000. Hey, here we go. Oops. Here comes Squamish. I saw the big signal there. It's good. You're good to go on 27085. But anyway, 6 radios tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network.
Hey Dennis, good evening. 428, checking in my 4625 TRC with a desk mic. Definitely appreciate what you do there, and 73s to you from everybody in Squamish. Waving a hand to everybody out there. I'll pass it back to Net Control. 73s.
All right, sounding good. That is one of the best looking AM signals coming down straight, full frequency, on frequency, and the audio going out to at least 6K, 7K wide. So nice stuff. Thanks for joining us tonight. wherever you might be. Thanks for staying up late. And if you're watching the video replay, this is something that we do most Saturdays here, beginning at 8 p.m. Pacific time in the Central Valley of California. So join us if you can, won't you, for the Old Tube Radio Network, and hopefully you will do something similar to that wherever you might be. Oh, and 23 Skidoo. We've got a couple other things here. I got 78 checked in. 23 Skidoo sneaking in as well. The Cardone Spitfire Mark XL Colt Midnight Special Model 900. I might even have a photo of the Cardone Spitfire Mark XL. I think that 135 has one of them. Let me see if we have a picture. And indeed it is. Here it is. I'm going to put that picture up. I don't know why that was in there, but we will go right there, maybe. And of course, I have to click on it maybe to make it show up. I know we're having trouble. I'm definitely having trouble with the pictures showing up tonight. So there is some type of weird internet thing happening on the Old Tube Radio Network. But we do have one in town, so, oh, there it is. Maybe we will get it to show up. But that is a very rare and special radio. But there it is. That's got the fine-tune, the mic gain, the range expand, and that is definitely very close to the Robin T240D. So thanks 23 for that on the Robin 40 channel chassis. 73, everybody. It is time for whatever it is, the hot chocolate, a bagel, or whatever. And of the 6 Panasonic channels, the Mark XL is the rarest. And that, I don't know if that was, one of those were from a Canadian issue as well. But there it is. And that is also on a green case. So cool stuff. We'll have to, Cliff, if you're watching, that might be a radio you want to check in if you've still got it coming up. 73, everybody, from your Old Tube Radio Network.
Thanks, Dennis, for the net.
Somebody said goodnight, Bozo.